See, when I started speaking in 2012, 13, it almost feels like it was a different era. Just 10 years ago, 12 years ago. In India, it was very different 10 years ago. I'm not sure about other countries. Maybe America was already like that. But 12 years ago, how India was and how India is now, so many things have changed. Not just outward changes, but with respect to how people are, how much they are rooted in their thought space. It is increasing over every day. Over the years, it has increased. When I started speaking in 2012, 13, I still remember. In the very beginning, I tried speaking only self-inquiry, and I realized it is not working. People will find it, maybe they'll find it interesting or or intriguing for a while, but it doesn't stick. Self-inquiry, but the practice itself. Then I realized it's not working. Then I started wondering how to prepare the human mind. The first thing that came to me was maybe there is a lot of outward compulsion, and so I used to focus a lot on pratyahara. If there is anybody who has attended my classes long ago, you will know I used to talk at least 2-3 hours on pratyahara alone. That there are tendencies which draw you outward, sensory pleasures mainly. And I used to give a long talk on pratyahara and how you have to gradually change the direction of your energies and make them inward. And if you know of scriptures mainly talk of this only. They will talk about indriya nigraha. They will say indriya sukha is the one that is primarily the main obstacle in the spiritual process. So they will mainly focus on that. If you see any ancient books, they will mainly focus on this indriya nigraha, this training of the sensory pleasures and directing that energy inward. But over the years, I started realizing that it is no more the fundamental problem. Or rather, it is the fundamental problem. But on top of that fundamental problem, so many other problems have evolved. Human intellect has evolved. When I say evolved, I'm not talking of it in a positive sense. But on top of this fundamental issue of outward compulsion, so many other things have been built. That's what I tried to point out in the book. Thought has started playing mischief. And if you read the scriptures, I don't find that being addressed in the scriptures particularly. The emphasis is not there on the mischief that is being played by the thought process. You cannot find it there because it was not a problem at that time. People did not have strong identities which they were swearing by, like how it has become today. See, why I'm telling last 12 years is Indians may understand this. I have been to the US. I've seen the US. I was there for 2 years, 7, 8, and 9 also, somewhat. But when it comes to India, you can see from 2010 to now how things have changed. Food has become a great identity for people now in many ways. Sexuality has become a great identity. Everybody is getting into politics. Everybody is openly declaring what party they belong to. Politics has become a very big identity. People are becoming more and more mental, and because of that, motivational industry is growing. All these developments you have seen in India. It was not so in 2010. Just in 2010, it was not so in India. Every silly thing, every small thing is becoming a dinosaur-like identity for people, and if you just as much as touch it, they will flare up. So this thought has played so much of mischief. Sensory pleasure is no more the it is the fundamental problem, you can say, that outward compulsion is there, that is there, but on top of it, so much of mischief is being played by the thought process. So much of people's energy is going into getting embedded into their thought process. They're getting more and more mental. If we are living like this 14, 16 hours of our daytime, and if you hope that 1 hour in the evening you will be able to do self inquiry, it is not possible. It is a pipe dream. When we spend our entire day reinforcing our footing in the thought plane. And half an hour, if you think I will get rid of all the identities and become inquisitive, I'll do self inquiry, it won't happen. We cannot be doing the exact opposite things in our everyday life and try to do self inquiry and hope that it will work. It won't work.